Hi, welcome to the third video in mSoftware's InCatalog Quick Start tutorial video series. The first two videos got us set up and able to update documents with InCatalog. In this video, we'll learn about creating InCatalog links. Let's get started. First, data. As we've learned, InCatalog is all about linking data, and we need a way to tell InCatalog about that data. And that way is with the data descriptor file. We've learned how to select one and how to determine whether we're using the correct one when we're working with InCatalog. Now, let's learn how to create one. A data descriptor, as we've seen, let me open up the one that we've been using, is simply a list, tabs separated, notice all my little triangles are my tabs in this file, of the names of the columns in my data file in the order that they appear. And I'm telling InCatalog, this is the key field by putting a little K next to that one in square brackets. The simplest way to actually begin and to make sure that your field names match your column names is to start with a header row if you've got one in your data. So I'm going to go into this data file. Let's make it a little bit smaller. And I'm going to select just those cells of my header row. I'll copy those. I'll create a new InDesign document, throw a text frame into it, and simply paste into there. Paste. There are all my field names. I'll show my invisible characters, and you can see all the tabs that are in there. I'm going to add a tab at the beginning of it. This is important. So we have a tab in front of each field name. The field names don't need to exactly match what's in the data. If I don't want this to be picked one, if I just want that to be image or picture, I can just change that name. These are labels that we'll be using within InCatalog, and InCatalog is just looking at the position of these. So I can change that. I need to tell it which key I'm going to use. So I'm going to say, use this field as my key field. And then I'll save that as a text file. So I'll export this story, and I'll put it in my InCatalog tutorial files folder, and we'll say save this as text only, and I'm going to call this my new DD, just so that we know that this is the new one, and save it, export, and if I go over here, there's my new DD, and it will work exactly the same way as the other. It's that simple to set these up. If you don't have a header row to start with, just simply type a tab, field name, tab, field name, tab, field name. You want to make sure there's no returns at the end of it, and you're all set. Okay, let's get to creating some links. I'm going to open up the Cat Tutorial 2 InDesign document, and this has a nice unlinked object on it to start with. I'm going to open my InCatalog linker, and I want to make sure my proper data descriptor is selected, so I'll just go ahead and reselect the original one, my food add DD, open. I can go over here in my drop down, and we'll see there are all the fields in my data descriptor. Before you create a link, make sure all of your invisible characters are showing. This is a very important step. Often, designers like to work in preview mode because it looks pretty, or have their invisibles not showing. At the bottom of the type menu, we have our show/hide hidden characters toggle. If I click on hide hidden characters, I can't see that. And the problem is if I select something, I might end up selecting the paragraph return along with everything else. You can see that the selection extends a bit further than the actual bit of text. If I put a link on that paragraph return, it's going to disappear when I replace the contents of that link. So we need to be sure that we're seeing everything in there. So always, always show your hidden characters before you link. To create a link, simply select the bit of text that you want to link, go to the linker palette, select the field that you want to link this to. I'm going to make this my product name field. Enter the key, 1, and right now I'm leaving this key from link. There are other key types, and we'll be talking about those in a few minutes, but just leave it key from link right now. So my link is going to be on product name. The key is 1. It's key from link. And you'll notice that my brackets were produced around there. I can now update my document. Let's see, update document. Let's choose my veggies. And there in comes my content. I'll change my key for that link. I'll put my cursor in there and I'll change that. I want that to be key number 1. I'll update my document again. And now it'll pull from the first record in there. Update document. Veggies. Go. Creating links is as simple as that. When you put a key value in there, it's sticky, so that key value will stay in there until I've changed it, so I can easily link the other bits of my text. Let's make this description 1. Let's make this description 2. Let's make description 3. Let's put my savings field in there. Savings. Here's my price. And here is my unit. Creating links is just that easy and just that quick. Update document. Select the whole thing, go. And in comes all my lovely content. Creating links on images is just as easy. Select the image frame itself. Notice now I've got my image frame selected. And now I can go in and select the name of my image field, my picture field here. And notice here now we have some other options, some fitting options, as is, upper left, centered, fit frame, and all kinds of other things. Let's leave it as is for right now. And we'll say InCatalog, update document. Bring that in. That's not very ideal. So I'll say, let's make it centered. Update document. Not quite right. Let's make this fit to frame, maintaining the aspect ratio. You fit to frame, maintaining aspect ratio, and fill frame, maintaining aspect ratio are usually the most commonly chosen ones. I'll say fit to frame. InCatalog, update document. It's that easy. InCatalog links can be copied and pasted, so the easy way to duplicate this item is to simply copy it and paste it. Copy, paste. Now I've got another copy of this thing, and I can change the keys on this to bring in another object. So all I need to do is go in here and go into my first link, and I'll change my key to 2. And then I have to go to this link and change my key to 2. And this link and change my key to 2. And as you can see, this can be a pain in the neck, especially if you've got lots and lots and lots of these things to do. There's actually an easier way to do this. Let me get rid of this one. Delete, delete. I'm going to go back over here and change my key types. Let's look at our key type options. We have key from link, key from group, key from text to the left, key from text to the right. If you're in a table, key from text up, and key from contents. These are indirect keys, so they can pick up their key from something else. Key from group is really handy because this way you only need one direct link, and then all the other links in the group, whatever objects you have in that group, will pick up their key automatically from that one. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to group these two frames because right now they're not grouped. And Command G, I now have a lovely InDesign group. I'm going to leave my link on the broccoli as a key from link. The rest of these I'm going to change to key from group. I'll put my cursor in this one and say key from group. In this one, key from group. In this one, key from group. We'll do that with all of these. Group and group. And I'll even do that with my image. I'll select my image making sure that I've got that frame itself selected. I'll make this one key from group as well. Now I'll copy this, copy. I'll make a couple of copies of it, paste, put it over here, paste, paste, 2 more copies. Now, changing my keys is just this simple. I'll go into my one direct link, change that to a 2. I'll change this one to a 3. And I'll change this key to key number 4. And now watch, every key in there is now picked up from that one. So you can very, very quickly rekey your entire document once you set up one presentation with a direct link and a bunch of other indirect links that'll pick up the key from that one. It will automatically do the keying for you. You just change the key in one place, update document, and all of that other stuff comes in. Let's do the same thing, but let's look at key from text left. If you're not working with grouped items, if you're just working in paragraphs, you can do the same sort of thing. I'll put some links on this here down here at the bottom of this presentation. I have some text that's in paragraphs. I'll put some links on. Product name. I'm going to leave this one, key from link, and I will say, this is my product name. Here we have a link for size, and I'm going to say size, but look to the left in my paragraph for the key, and it'll pick up that key. I'll do the same thing over here with price. Price. Key from text to the left in my story. And my unit. Again, look to the left in the story. And even my description, even though this is in a separate paragraph, it's still going to look to the left in the story. Key from text to the left. Let's make this description 1. And my savings will do the same thing. These are still looking to the left. Savings. Key from text to the left. Now if I want to duplicate all of this, I can just select all of this, copy it, and paste a couple of copies in here. And now, again, all I have to do is change the key in my first link. I'll change this one to 7. I'll change this one to, well, this one will be 8. Let's let this one be 9. And now you notice that the links in all these others match. There's 7, there's my 8, there's my 9. So I only have to change links in one place. And I can update my document. Catalog, update document. In comes all that lovely content. There's one other key type that I'd like to look at, and that is key from contents. I'm going to start again on this. I'm going to close this document. Don't save. I'll reopen it so that it's all nice and clean. And I'm going to create a little text frame, and I'm going to just kind of, let's move all of these things down a bit. So that's a standalone little text frame all by itself. I'm going to select this frame with my selection tool. I'll put a link on that, and I'm going to put a link on that to page position, which is my key field, but I'm going to put a link on the entire frame and say key from contents. You can put key from contents links on text as well. But out here I just did the entire frame, and then I'll go ahead and make my other page position, key from group, description 1. I won't do all of these. Key from group. And let me just do my picture frame. Do it to my picture field. key from group, fit to frame, maintaining aspect ratio. And notice that on these links that I've already collected, it says the keys link is empty. We'll change that in a minute. Let's go ahead and do the price as well, just so we see a little more updating here. Price, key from group. I'm going to group all of 3 of these frames. Group. So now I have a group of 3 frames. Copy, paste, paste, paste. Now that I have these, all I have to do is type my key into the box. 1, 2, 3, 4. And because these boxes are key from contents, whatever's in that box becomes the key for the entire thing. And again, you can do the same thing with text. I could do something like this. I could make a little placeholder in front of my product name. I'll just add a little bit of text in here. I'll say, put a little number placeholder and a space or so in there. And I'll put a link on this for my page position, key from contents. And let's just do the product name here. Product name. This time, I'm going to go key from text left on this one. And we'll do the price as well, just so that we see a little more changing. Price. Key from text to the left. Select all of this. Copy. Paste, paste. And now, notice that these don't have any keys. It thinks the keys for all of these links is the contents of my little placeholder. But if I select the contents of my little placeholder, 1, 2, 3, now it's picked up these keys for the rest of those. So you can use key from contents as another way of really quickly propagating in InCatalog and duplicating InCatalog presentations. Update document, and in comes all my stuff. So creating links is nice and easy. You select the text, select the field, provide a key, and there are a couple other little things that you can sweeten that, as we've discovered, but it's easy to do. Play around with this, and we'll see you in the next video where we'll learn how to update our data.